California, where it is 4:03 in the morning. So she woke up very early to be with you today. Yes, she has a lot of knowledge, especially about finance. She's a financial strategist. So if you want to make more money, if you want to be able to invest your money, if you want to just know what to do with your money, you need to connect with her and grab her free ebook. That it's a powerful ebook, has a lot of information. All right, she's also a third degree black belt in martial arts, and what that means is she stuck with it for a long time because martial arts is hard, right? And she's really tough. And if she's a third degree black belt, you do not want to mess with her. That's for sure. That's for sure. So I am gonna go to California without further ado to present to you none other than Leah Garcia. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Eric F., King of Collaboration. Well, my name is Leah Garcia, financial strategist and insurance professional, and it's my crusade to help you properly protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth so you can build that legacy and create generational wealth for your family. I love this topic, how to sell more of your offers without being pushy. And what I would challenge every one of you, you got here, you're here in the morning, I would ask you to suspend your disbelief. I would ask you to put your apprehensions aside. You might hear some of these tips and you might say, I've already heard that before, but try to hear it in a different way. Try to take it in a different way because you put your time, you invested your time to be here. You should come here expecting to receive. So I would say, number one, give yourself that opportunity to be open and learn. I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets and I'm going to go quick. So number one is TTP, talk to people. I love 7-minute no pitch coffee chats. I just think that is so much gold. Have a call with your connections. And people always ask me, well, Leah, what am I going to say if it's a no pitch? How about if you be curious? How about if you have some questions for them? How about if you ask them the backstory of how they started their business? How about if you ask them the backstory of why they wanted to have that business? Look at their profile, be curious, become a student of them. Remember, everyone's favorite radio station is WIIFM. It's all about them. When you're there with them, actually give yourself an opportunity to focus on that person and be curious and really listen to what they have to say, right? What is in it for them? What value can you bring to them? Who can you connect them to? What information can you share with them? Number 2, questions are the answers. If you feel like you are being too pushy, then you probably are. Stop feeling like you're being too pushy, right? Start asking questions and have some prepared questions that you can have as your default, whatever your sales is, whatever your product or service is. Like there's things that I can have in my back pocket that I can pull out at any time that don't feel salesy. Like, what is your FIN number? What is your financial independence number? Like, and ask them, are you on track for retirement? That's not being salesy. That's being curious. I'm asking them questions, but it has to do with what I do, right? Financial services. And I can ask them things like, are you worried or concerned about a stock market crash or correction? So when you know questions about your offer, then you're not being pushy. What are you doing? You're pulling them in. You're asking them. You're being curious about, how your offer can benefit them. Number 3, facts tell but stories sell. And I know you've heard this before, but you got to give value. You got to give them client stories. You got to give them quick tips on how they can get some quick wins. You got to have those and share them and speak them out over and over again. Sometimes you might feel like you said the story, the same thing over and over again. But guess what? People need to hear it multiple times. They need to hear it multiple ways. They need to hear it when you're in a meeting, when you're in the back office, when there's different ways and different situations so that it is natural. It has to become who you are. If you're feeling like you're being pushy because it's not in your DNA, right? It is not a part of really who you are. It's still something that you've memorized, a script that you have. And that's okay. We all start mechanical, but you got to practice until it is in you. Your business has to actually be who you are. And remember, folks, money loves speed. Wealth takes time, but money loves speed. And what I mean by that is I challenge you. Take one of these tips that you hear today and implement it. have a high IQ, a high implementation quotient. You didn't come here for puppy dogs and ponies. You came here to have something that you could actually do to push you and your business forward. So that's my time, and that's what I wanted to share, all the way from the jungle, all the way, with all these lions and bears. And now I hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care of her there with those lines. At least you know martial arts. Put a bear in a chokehold or something. All right. All right. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Appreciate that. Great tips. Great tips. And and you're right. Like, if you're listening today, you want to implement something. Okay. First of all, take out that thinking that, oh yeah, I think I heard that. I heard that. It's not about whether you've heard it. It's about how are you implementing it, right? A lot of times I hear people say things. I mean, I go to masterminds and things, and I hear something I've heard before, and I say to myself, "Wait, I've heard it before, but I'm not doing it. I need to do it. It must. If I'm hearing it again and again, that means I need to do it, right?" So it's someone that's really not serious about their business that says things like that. I've heard that before. I've heard that. Well, if you've heard it before, then maybe you should start doing it. Right. All right. So let's keep going. I'm going to share a little bit of information with you. Now, this is what I do for a living. So this is my forte. So I have so much information I want to share with you, but I can't share it all today. Well, for obvious reasons, we don't have the time. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to put together a master class for you. Okay, maybe it's about an hour and a half, where I'm actually going to detail everything you need to know about being confident in sales, closing deals. This is something I've been doing for 25 years. I've sold over the phone, I've sold face to face, I've sold on computer, online, offline, everywhere, everywhere you can think of. Right, I've been doing it for a long time. So if you go to, I'm going to put this in the chat right now for everybody. Okay, it's Success with Eric /masterclass. Success with Eric, and Eric is ERIC. Success with Eric, one word, / masterclass. And I have put together an incredible masterclass for you for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. 6 p.m. Eastern time. All you have to do is click on the link and register. It's absolutely free. All right. So, but today, let's start with this. I'm going to start real quickly by acknowledging some people that are here. Daniel Young, welcome from Florida. Simi, welcome from Nigeria. Eric Doby, welcome from Hartford. Lisa, good to see you. Welcome. Let's see. Coral from across the pond, welcome. Anna, welcome. Wow, we have people from all over the world. Carlene, good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, we have so many people. If you haven't put your name in there, all you have to do, again, say your name from wherever you are. All right. So welcome to everybody. So first of all, there are some myths about selling that I have to share with you, because if you believe these myths, then unfortunately you probably will never get good at selling. Right. And it's a mindset block. Okay. So the first myth is that you have to be born with the skills of sales, of selling. There is nothing further from the truth. Nothing. I was not born with it. When I started, I was horrible at it. I wasn't able to sell. I wasn't able to make any money. I was about to get fired from my job. Until I met a mentor who taught me, right? So everybody on this line, if you're hearing my voice right now, you can get good at sales, okay? That's number one. Number two is that you have to be pushy or aggressive to be good at sales. Again, nothing further from the truth. It's the opposite is true, right? The opposite. If I get on a call with someone that's pushy and salesy, in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want to buy from this guy. I'm not giving him my money. There's no way. I'm not gonna let him push me around. I'm not gonna let him scam me. There's no way, right? So it's the opposite, right? So you don't want to be pushy or salesy or aggressive to be good at it. Okay. And remember that people, when they meet with you, they have this invisible force field, right? That says, I don't want to be sold. I don't want to be taken advantage of. Nobody can rip me off, right? That's what they're thinking in their mind. And if you're not able to put down that force field, you will never get the sale. You'll never get the sale. There are several ways to put it down, probably like, I don't know, 10 ways or something. And I get into it in my master class. I get into all that, but I'm going to give you a couple right now. Okay. There are certain words you can say that reduces the skepticism of the person you meet. I use this all the time. So listen to this. So I meet with you and I say, let's say I'm talking about my studio, because you guys know I have studiospeaking.com. I have people speak on my studio every day. Let's say I'm speaking to you about speaking on my stage, and I say something like, um, with your background, I think you'd be a great fit to speak on my stage. I'll be glad to promote you, blah blah. And then I say this, but if it's not for you, it's perfectly all right. Write that down. But if it's not for you, it's perfectly all right. When I say that, the person goes, "Oh, thank God. I'm not, oh wow, he's not gonna force me into this. This is perfect." Now, guess what? He's actually gonna listen to me now. He's gonna listen to everything I say because he realizes I'm not trying to force him. You see what I'm saying? Um, then people tell me that, what if I say that and then he doesn't buy because of it? I'm like, no, 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 no. If someone needs what you have, they're gonna buy. Like, they're gonna buy. They're gonna hunt you down. I've had people that want what I have. They send me a message on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Like, Eric, I need this. I need this. I need it. So if someone needs it, they'll need it, right? But that's a great way for you to calm the nerves of people you work with, right? To let them know that if it's not for you, perfectly okay. Or or you can say something like, so I'm going to share some information about my business or what I do, and it may or may not be for you. And they're like, oh, it may not be for me, right? Instead of saying, oh, you need this, you have to get this. Oh man, when I saw what you do, I'm like, you have to get this. That's what pushes people away. Don't ever tell people that they have to get it, because then they won't get it. Okay. So that's one tip. And I'm going to give you another tip here. So if you go to the doctors, and so you have some kind of sickness, ailment, you go to the doctors, you're sitting on the table there, whatever they have, the bed, whatever they have at the doctor's office, and the doctor comes in and says, yeah, I just had a patient come in, a few hours ago, and I prescribed this antibiotic that's really going to help her, and I prescribed it to somebody else, and it helps them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prescribe the antibiotic for you, right? Take them once a day for 30 days, or once a day for 20 days, and then call me. Let us know how it goes, and then we'll go from there. And the doctor walks out. Now, how would you feel? How would you think about that? How would you feel if the doctor came to you and prescribed something to you without asking you any questions? Oh, by the way, hey, Annie, good to see you. Without asking you any question, you will probably feel like that is malpractice. You're like, what? Like, how can you just tell me that this is going to work for me and you don't know anything about me? Now, we commit business malpractice all the time when we're just talking to people and telling them about our stuff, and we don't know anything about them. We don't know if they need it. So stop committing business malpractice. Okay. So what does a doctor do? A doctor will find out what your symptoms are. Yeah. So what's going on with you? Right? Really, really, how long has it been happening? What? So tell me, how does it feel when it happens? Has it happened before? Right? Finding out your symptoms. And then once they find out your symptoms, that, you know what? Based on what you said, I know what it is. It's probably this problem or this illness. It's, this is what it is. And based on that, I have the perfect prescription for you. This will definitely help you, because it's helped people in the past. And then they prescribe the medicine that aligns with exactly what your ailment is. Right. And now you're happy. Like, now you feel confident that if I take this, it's going to help me. Right. So that's what you need to do. Leah alluded to that. You need to ask questions. Now, we don't have time to get into the questions. I have like 10 magic questions but I'm going to talk about it in the training. So don't miss the training. By the way, for the training, you get the recording as well, right? It's better you're there live, but if you register, you will get the recording as well. So you want to register for the training. Success with Eric /masterclass. And by the way, there are certain tips I'm going to teach you that will help you make thousands and thousands of more dollars than you're making now. It could be one mistake you're making every time you meet with somebody and you're losing sales. It could be one thing you're not saying, right? It could be one phrase that you say every time, right? Or maybe you're trying to sell 3 products at the same time. Like you just don't even know. You don't know what you don't know, and I can help you for free. Successwitheric.com /masterclass. I will see you in my class tomorrow. All right. All right. So let's keep going. We have another speaker here who is also very good at sales, and he's a marketer. That's what he's really good at. And as you know, marketing and sales go hand in hand, right? He's a marketer. He's one of the best I know at marketing and helping people get the word out about their business. We call him the fame expert because he make you famous, right? People say, "Well, Eric, I don't want to be out there. I don't want everybody to know me." Then you don't want to make any money. You can't have it both ways, right? You can't have it both ways. Do you want to make money or not, right? If you want to make money, listen to everything this gentleman is about to say. So without further ado, all the way from Europe, let's hear from Annie Osung. Annie, the floor is yours. You are muted. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. Okay, I think he will be back. All right. So let me just share a couple things for you before I go to Zion. One thing I want everybody to realize is you want to when you're talking to people, you don't want to make it feel like it's a presentation or it's a sales meeting, right? You don't ever want to sound like it's a sales meeting. You want to be able to connect with people on a personal level, so you're more like friends, right? Because if you make it a sales meeting, then they're looking at it like that. And then at the end of your call, a lot of time they say, "Okay, that sounds good. I just need to shop around, right?" And they won't buy from you. But if they get to know, like, and trust you, even if your price is more expensive, they'll buy from you. I mean, I've heard people tell me that before. Like, Eric, I saw another guy, he does what you do, and yours is a little more expensive, but I'm going to go with you. Why? Because they know, like, and trust me, and they know I'm going to help. I'm going to give them value. So, Annie, let me see if we can hear you now.
Is that better?
Yes.
Sorry, my mic wasn't plugged in.
No problem.
I don't know how the cameras work. Okay, it was different camera you're looking at me on, so that's probably what happened. Sorry about that. I mean, you stole all my lessons for the day, Eric. But let me do anyway. Let me explain, and then so you understand what I'm trying to say. My friends, why do you have to be pushy? The only reason we have to be pushy as salespeople, business people, is because I guess someone doesn't want what we are trying to sell them. Let's face the truth, right? Maybe they don't want it now. So the second reason I would say is that when you're pushy, essentially you're trying to sell. You're trying to meet your own interest. You're not trying to help the person who might need your service. So number 3, the reason we're pushy is because we don't understand sales enough. Those are my 3 reasons. I think from there, the question then becomes, what do we do? How can we do better? You've mentioned most of it, Eric. And I say, because I will come back to the biggest lesson I learned in your Compassionate Closer sales program. Because I went through it, I put my team through it, and I learned a hell of a lot. And so the biggest lesson I learned is what you explained earlier when I was here. Sell like a doctor. Yeah, that's a big lesson, my friends. That's a big lesson. A doctor, like you said, Eric, understands the other person's needs. First of all, start there. If you don't understand what someone needs, if you don't understand that they need what you can provide, why would they buy from you? So no, spend some time. Again, you stole the words out of my mouth just now, Eric. You know, make friends, my friends. Make friends. You know, so I learned, Eric. I don't close a sale on the first call of anyone. The first call is simply to get to know them and to hear what they have to say, what they want, what they need, what they're struggling with, what their goals are. And then if I can help them, I say, okay, I could help you. You know, here's what I could do for you. You know, if you want to discuss it more, let's talk again. And then we can make a plan. Then we can close the deal. You know, until then, you know, it's the first call is never a sales call. It's like saying that it's a friendship call. So I get to know you, you get to know me. You know, unless you know, like, and trust me, why would you buy from me? And I think we need to spend more time on that part of the process. Get to know people, get to become their friends. Friends buy from friends. Your friends will come to you when they need you, not when you want to sell to them. You know, which brings me to my second point. You know, you trying to sell to me is not. I'm not going to buy because it's good for you and your sales numbers. I buy because it solves my problem. You know, so spend some time trying to get me to understand how you can help me take away a problem, a pain. That's when you never have to sell ever again. You know, all you're doing is simply having conversations with people. You know, have the conversation, get to know who they are, get to be interested in helping them. And once they see that you can help them, they'll be more interested in buying from you. That's a simple truth. You know, and there's people I speak to, Eric, literally years ahead. You know, and again, maybe that's an advice to our friends. Talk to people, make more friends. Almost all of them will come to you when they need you. If you're not friends with anyone, then they'll go with their friends instead. You decide, right? You know, the choice is yours. Yeah, look, and I said maybe the last point I'll make is a lot of people think you meet someone, you sell to them, and everyone's happy. That's not how it works. You know, even the best salespeople, even the best closers will struggle to get 4 out of 10 sales. If you get 4 out of 10 sales, my friends, you don't need Eric's course. I promise you. You're fine. You're good, right? Because we don't even get that. You know, some of us get 1 out of 10. Some of us get none out of 10. I'm saying, the numbers don't lie, right? So don't focus on getting one prospect. Don't focus on one conversation to close the sale. Never do that. And I always tell my friends, my clients, aim for 10. When you talk to 10 people, then come back to me. Because then we can work out what we're doing wrong. Are we giving them the wrong information? Are we approaching things the wrong way? You know, we can learn something from ourselves, right? One is desperation. Because now you have to close them. Otherwise, if they say no, oh no, the world has ended. No, don't put yourself in that situation, my friends. You know, build a community of people who know you, like you, want to buy from you, and then talk to them, make them friends. With time, I promise you, if you're interested in what they want rather than what you want, they'll buy from you. And you never have to be pushed at all. Never have to push it whatsoever. That's my share today, Eric.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And one thing, I'll piggyback on what you said, that, you know, if someone says no, you know, the world is not over. But here's the thing. One of the ways to increase your confidence when you're talking to people is to have multiple people to talk to.
Yeah.
Okay. So Annie helped with that, right? Annie helped me with LinkedIn, getting a lot of people to follow me, right? So I have a bigger pool, right, of people. And that's one thing you have to do, because sales and marketing go hand in hand. You could be a great closer, but, you know, if you have just 1 or 2 people to talk to, you're nervous going into it. You're like, I need to pay my rent. If this guy doesn't buy, it's over. I'm gonna be, you know, evicted, right? So now you're going into the call nervous, and they can see it, right? And not only are you going into a nervous, you're going to a desperate, and people can see the dollar signs in your eyes. You know, and then you end up saying things like they say, well, I don't know if it's for me, and they're like, no, it's for you. No, you need to get it. You need to get it today, because they already see it, because you're desperate. So one thing you want to do is you want to be able to market yourself so you're seen by a lot of people, so you're not desperate to sell the person that you meet because you have other calls, right? Sometimes when I have like 6 calls or so in a day, and if I meet with the first person and the person says, "Yeah, it's not for me, I'm not interested," it doesn't bother me at all. I have more calls, right? But if he was the only call I had that week, I'd be devastated, right? So you want to have more people to talk to. Okay, that's more marketing than sales, but they go hand in hand. All right. So if you have any questions, which I know a lot of you have questions, but you're not putting in the chat. So what I want you to do is put the question in the chat. Just write question and then put it in the chat. And there's no such thing as a silly question or a dumb question, because whatever question you're thinking of right now, somebody else is thinking about it. We just need someone bold enough to put it in the chat. Bold enough. So put in the chat question, and then put your question in there for us to help you. I know someone said something here, David, about putting the link in the chat. I just again, okay, Success with Eric, which is one word, Success with Eric /masterclass /masterclass. Okay. And by the way, if you help people, if you're in a kind of you can get your domain to say success with your name. It's something people remember, right? Success with your name. I was in a training, and I think it was a Anthony Robbins training, and someone said, success with, put your name in there. And then he said, if you have a common name, it's probably taken, right? So while he's talking, I go online to see, I go to GoDaddy to see if it's available, and I see that it's available. So I buy it on the spot. Go to GoDaddy.com and just see if it's taken. See if yours is there. I don't know. I think it cost me $15 or so for the month, for the year. So that's just some extra information I'm giving you. I should charge you for this information. I'm giving them for free. I should charge them for this stuff. And he's like, you should. All right. So let's get to some questions. Okay, let's go with Leah's question first. Who should attend my masterclass? Great question. All right. So the people that should attend my masterclass: entrepreneurs, speakers, coaches, consultants, authors, anybody who has an offer, which is a product or a service that they want to sell, and they want to make more sales and be more confident when they're doing it. Okay, those are the people that should come. People that are open-minded to learn, and not like I don't want people that are coming there just to criticize, right? Yeah, let me see what this is all about. Yeah, I heard that before, and I heard that before, and look, don't come, don't show up. We don't want you. We don't want you, right? Or I don't want people that say that, I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna wing my calls. I don't need to come to that. Then don't come. I'm here to help people that truly want to build a big business. Look, one of my clients sent me a video. She said in the video she's never sold anything before. I helped her make $29,000 in 1 week with the Compassionate Closer system. In 1 week. She says she has never sold anything before, and now she's a coach, right? I had another client who never sold a high ticket offer. High ticket is like 2,000 or above, right? Or something, I'd say about 2,000. But she's never done that before. She said, I did Mary Kay, where I sold things for $100, right? I showed her how to sell high ticket offers, how to sell offers that are more expensive. So she started with 1,000. And she made 3 sales in her first month. She's never done that before. That's $3,000. And now what you learn forever, right? And he was in my class. What he learned forever, which means he'll benefit from that month after month, year after year, forever. Even if he changes industries, right? Like I can teach you how to sell a Boeing 747. You're like, how can you do that? It's the same concept, the same principle. As long as you're talking to the right people, you can do it, right? So yeah, so great question, Leah. Appreciate that. I think that's just for me. So I think I'm the only one that'll talk about that. But yeah, thank you so much. All right, so let's get to some more questions here. Let's get to some more questions here.
I
Thanks.
can add to that, Eric.
Oh, you can? Okay, go ahead.
I
Go
can.
ahead.
I can definitely add to that. I
Okay.
can tell you my experience, and I had been in sales. I had been in the industry about 17, 18 years when I took your class. And some of it was things that I'd heard before, but it was also the engagement, the interaction, the way that you position it, and also the other questions and contributions from all the other people who attended. I learned a lot from you, but I also learned a lot from everyone else. I love that you have it in an open setting where people can ask you questions. It's not like somebody, you're just there from the pulpit, just giving us information. It's interactive, it's engaging, and you allow us to ask whatever questions that we have. So I think this is for anyone, whether you're new to sales, you've been in sales for a long time, anyone will get some golden nuggets for your master class. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Annie. You're muted again.
Again, I think I agree with you, Queen Leah. I really do. I say, Eric, when I joined Eric's program, the mix of people was amazing. I thought I was comfortable with sales. I thought I knew what I was doing because I've been in business 10 years, my friends. So I thought I really knew what I was doing. If they didn't want to buy, oh wow, oh. But I say the mix of people are. I think you get people who are experienced in business, they've been in business for years. You get those who are new. I think that the most important thing that sort of brings us all together is not so much that we're not good at sales. It's that we just didn't understand the sales process, and we didn't have the confidence to do what it takes to be a good salesperson. That's a lesson, really. So I say all that because Eric. I remember when I joined, and Eric was like, "You have to do role play," and believe you me, I don't. You see me talking like this at events. I'm talking at you, right? They're sort of doing role play where everyone's watching you, and then they get to comment and not criticize, but help you learn, give you feedback. I was like, I'm not gonna say a word, but I learned. So you have to, I found my confidence. I think that's what Eric's program really does for you. I always say it's not the knowledge necessarily, because that's important, but without the confidence, the belief in yourself and what you're selling. Eric just mentioned people who sell things for under $100 compared to those who sell high ticket products and services. There's a whole difference in mindset. And that's what you learn in Eric's program. If that's what you want to learn and take your sales to another level, that's pretty much where you want to be. I definitely recommend it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Not only did Annie join, but he had some members of his staff that took the class as well. So appreciate you. I highlighted Fran Strickland there. Fran, a good friend of mine. She took the class. She actually sent me a great testimonial. So I think, by the way, if you want to see some of my testimonials, go to successwitheric.com. And then I think click on work with me, something like that. I think you'll see a whole bunch. But Fran, she benefited a lot from taking my class. And I appreciate you, Fran, for being on today. All right. And by the way, in this class that we're going to do tomorrow, there is no role play, so don't be afraid. So this is just a free class I'm doing. So some people are like, oh my God, I'm not coming there. No. You can show up, right? This one is just me teaching tomorrow. All right. All right, so let's get into some questions. Let's get into some questions. Let's see. 1 second. Okay, here's a question by Coral. When you first started selling your offers, how did it make you feel? Were you confident? Oh my goodness, confident? Nah, confident is not the word. But I'll let my speakers go first. Leah, if you want to go first, you just jump in. If not, I will go to.
I will happily jump in. That is the most hysterical question I have ever heard in my life. So I was probably a year before I ever made my first sale. Right? I went to the meetings, I took all the notes. I went to all the classes. I was there clapping in the front row for everybody. But For me, it really was a long learning curve. I'm somebody that I really need to see things a lot of times before I get it. I had a lot of appointments. The joke in the office was if you want to make a lot of money, just follow Leah around and close all the business that she doesn't close. Because I would have the most appointments. Kid you not. I would have the most appointments every single week. Every single week. How many appointments did you have? They go around the room and they'd say 2, 1, 5. I had 16, 18, over 10 appointments every single week. And I would close a 0. So it was over a year. It was probably, I don't know, 12 or 13 months before I ever closed anyone. So there you go. I was so bad. I couldn't even close the door. I couldn't close the window. That's why I needed Eric like 18 years ago.
Hey, better late than never.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Eddie, go ahead.
No, so I like that. Couldn't close the window. I should put that in the comments, right? Now, look, of course, I was not confident. Coral, so your first prospects call, again, I think everything I said pretty much comes from that, realizing this is the one because I've got no other ones, I have to sell to this person. And no, I didn't sell. Of course I didn't sell. That because it doesn't work, right? That's not how sales works. I didn't know anything about sales. I just thought if you rock up, tell them they'll buy. Of course they'll say yes. I was selling digital marketing services, my friends, in 2015. And my view was everyone needed to be online. So people who were not online, there's a reason they're not online. The reason they're not doing online marketing because they don't get it. And so that was my biggest lesson, Coral. I realized that people don't know what I was trying to sell them. I might think, I thought they did, but that was not their thing, right? So I had to go back to the drawing board and really work out, how do I talk to these people? In the end, I had to go networking, where there's 50 people in a room, and then begin to talk to more people from there. That's how I learned. That's why I started off. So even then, I got to a stage where it felt like I had plateaued. I hit a wall. That's where Eric's training came in, right? Because I was doing okay, but I wasn't doing great, and I wasn't making enough money to be successful, to be profitable. I think we all get there. We'll start somewhere, and then we have to learn sometime what sales really means. Because that's the biggest skill we're going to learn in our business. No point being good at something if you can't get people to buy into it. Really not. I'll leave it there, I think.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So to answer your question, Coral, I got a job with Xerox after I completed college and in sales. I want to be in marketing, but they put me in sales. I didn't make my first sale for about 90 days. And I was talking to people every day because you like walking into offices, like just walking into offices every day, like 30 a day. On the phones, I was calling about 50 people in a day. Took me like 3 months. So yeah. And also everything I teach now, I did the exact opposite. Everything I teach. I didn't build rapport. I just went right to it. Right. I didn't sell like a doctor. I just said, this Scorpio will work for you guys, right? Like, what do you mean? Right? Everything I teach, I did the opposite, and I wasn't making any sales. And that's another reason why I'm so confident in what I teach now, because I've been on the other side, right? I wasn't born with this. So great question. All right, another question. We have questions pouring in now. That's exciting. All right, Pamela, if you offer a free discovery call and you don't pitch your offer, won't they go to another person who made them the same offer, which you never mentioned? Also, how do you position yourself to people to buy your premium service? Great question. Great question. I know Leah that you talk about the discovery call, so you can jump in.
Yes, I love this question. This is a brilliant question. I do a lot of these. I've been doing these for years. And the key is to be a good listener, right? So you're trying to find out what they need. Maybe you connect them with somebody, so maybe they don't buy your offer. But remember what I said earlier, you have to have some questions in your back pocket. I don't have to tell people anything. I ask them questions. Are you on track for retirement? Do you know your financial independence number? Are you worried about a stock market crash or correction? So you have to have those questions that are related to your offer. And yes, they may go to someone else, but then they weren't for you, right? Then they were not for you. And you may decide when you meet them that you don't want to sell your offer to them. And then how do you position yourself? I didn't have a high ticket offer. That's one thing I forgot to mention about Eric. I did not have a high ticket offer. I didn't have any offers, right? I was basically selling my services. And so Eric helped me to have a high ticket offer, just by going through his training and learning about that. So how do you position yourself? It's really about asking questions. When people come to you, what are you delivering to them? So if you don't have a high value, then you're going to feel really low about asking for a high ticket price. I feel like my high ticket price it's 20,000. It's got to go up. It's too low because I know the value that I'm bringing. So I would just ask you to ask yourself, what is the value that you're bringing? Is it really the right value? Are you in alignment with your price and the value that you're bringing? We have to over deliver. So in other words, that has to be worth more than 20,000. I know anyone who pays me 20,000 is going to tenfold that. They're going to tenfold that, if not more. I'm going to put more money, way more than $20,000 back in their pocket. So I don't even hesitate with that. And they shouldn't hesitate with that with you either. So I hope that helps. Great question, Pamela.
Yes, it is a great question. Go ahead, Annie.
My friends, look, Pamela, if you don't tell people how you can help them, they will never know, right? So, I mean, your words, pitch your offer. Don't pitch your offer. Like we said, if you know someone needs your help and you can help them, just tell them. It's a conversation. Don't pitch. Just tell them, I could help you. Here's how I could help you. That's not a crime, right? And that's not a crime in business at all. I think that's just courtesy. I take that very seriously. So I do events. I talk to people every day, and if I know that there's a solution for your pain, I think I'm obliged to tell you. Much like a doctor would have to tell you, here's a diagnosis, here's some medication I could recommend. I'm saying you don't have to take them, but listen, the doctor will tell you. If you have a serious ailment, they'll tell you, there's a solution for this. Don't go away suffering, right? Absolutely. Of course, so if you don't tell me how you can help me, and someone else does, you know how that works, right? Personally, if I don't know how you can help me, I can't call on you. So never look at it as pitching. Look at it as informing. Absolutely. In terms of how you position yourself in the market, look, it comes down to reputation. It comes down to, we say these things, value you give. It comes down to how much help you give, right? And some things we are really good at, and some things we're the best at. So the perfect example in my world, in my business, is my guaranteed bestseller service. I don't know. The fact that I say I guarantee to make my friends bestsellers on Amazon means I know the process. I have 100% success rate, 100%. So, that's just a fact. I'm saying I'll try and get people to understand that by doing a longer conversation piece, information that people see about me online, testimonials. Most of my clients will do a video sometime about my service. I'm saying these are all things to position yourself. And the more you build your reputation, the more you show what results you get for your clients, what value you give, why your solution is better than others. All of that positions you. Don't forget to say your brand is not what you say it is. It's what others say it is. That's what really positions you. It's not what you say. It's what others do. Right?
Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much, Annie. So we have about 3 questions, and I really want to get to all of them in about 10 minutes. So let's do this real quick. To answer your question, the discovery call is basically a short call where you learn about each other. Sometimes in the discovery call, you actually find out that they'd be good for your offer. They find out that they'd be good for your offer, and then you can keep going and then tell them the offer. So you don't necessarily have to jump off the discovery call and create another call. I have 15-minute calls where we're talking, we're getting to know each other, blah blah, and then I say something like, oh, okay, this, I mean, this looks like what I do. I could probably help you. Would you like to learn about how I can help you? And like, yeah, and then we keep going, right? So you can do that, right? You can do that. Also, how do you position yourself to people to buy premium service? You have to come to my class, but that's a long discussion. That's a long discussion. But yeah, success with Eric / masterclass. I'll see you in class, Pamela, and I'll get that question answered for you. All right, so we're going to get through 3 other questions. So we have like 3 minutes each for each one. So let's be quick. Lillian, how does one build and maintain a relationship with a buyer digitally? I guess online, right? Build and maintain a relationship. So I know both Leah and Annie both have online businesses. So who would like to jump in?
I'm not sure I understand this question. I mean, if you're on digital social media, then you're just reaching out to them. You don't have their direct contact information. Then you would just continue that relationship. But I always I go direct. I go real direct. I get their contact information. If they don't have it there to see, I will look for it. I'll research them. I'll look for their company because I deal with a lot of business owners. So I try to take it off platform direct very quickly, either direct email, phone number, something like that. If I know that they're like a hot lead, they said, oh yeah, this sounds really good. But if it's somebody you're kind of courting, then maybe it's a little bit longer. I'm not sure. So that's my
No problem.
$2 million.
$2 million worth of food.
Yes, exactly. That's what we do here. We give you $2 million nuggets. Okay, Annie, go ahead.
Lily, no, I think so as Queen Leah just said, you have to listen and read between the lines. Look, online is a new IRL. It's the real life these days, right? There's no difference. What's the difference? There isn't one. It's a screen, right? Look, there had to be relationships, so there's online, in person. It's the same. Have genuine care for the other person. Want to be their friend. Spend time with them. That's what this comes down to, right? That's Queen Leah saying that take the conversations away from DMs and messaging into real conversations, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's on WhatsApp. I'm saying literally talk to people. That's a good relationship. If they need help, help them. If you need help, they can help you. Relationships don't change.
Absolutely. So the best thing is to just send them a message. Hey, you want to jump on a quick call and we can share information, something like that. Or you can have a free ebook like Leah has one, right? Where they click on it, they put in their email address, they get your ebook. Now they're in your email list. Now you can contact them on a more frequent basis. Everything I do requires people to put their email in there, right? So they join my subscribers, right? So yeah, and then you continue, and I feed my subscribers information every month, like sales tips and stuff like that. So that's the best way that I see to build relationships online. All right, next question is from Francis. Again, she took my coaching class. What is the fundamental shift in thinking that most people have to make to be a great salesperson? So the shift in thinking, that's a great question. Let's see, Leah, do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I would say it comes down to what your belief that is about selling. You have to really embrace that you're really there to bring value. You got to really believe whatever that is, whatever your widget is, you got to believe that that is going to bring value, and understand that everything is sales. Our children sell us on, they don't want to go to bed. They don't want to eat their vegetables. So we just have to understand that it's just part of life, that sales is it's just part of who we are. We all do it, but now you're doing it professionally. Great question.
Yes.
Yeah, I think for me, the greatest shift in mindset is realizing that you're helping people. It's not about you. Never has been, never will be, right? You're selling to me because I need what your solution is. So a lot of people don't believe that. They think that you're selling something. They say understand. When we say sell like a doctor, there's a reason all those words work together and the concept works. You're selling to help people to overcome their pain. So don't be scared of pitching. Don't be scared of selling. Don't be scared of telling people what you do. Right? Do what you have to do to help people. That's a game.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I second that. The mindset is this: if I tell you to call up an old friend and give them $500, just say, hey, great, haven't talked for a while. God told me to bless you with some money, so here's $500. Would you feel nervous making the call? The answer is probably no. Why would I be nervous? I'm giving him $500. I don't have any nerves. But if I told you to call the same person and ask for $500 and just say, yeah, I really need money. Can you give me $500? Would you be nervous making the call? And the answer would be yes. You'd be nervous because you're taking, right? So when you have a mindset of giving instead of taking, it's you become much better at sales. Right. So I'm going to talk more about it in the master class, but great question. Great question. Let's see real quick before let's see. I had some comments. Had some comments here that I want to address. Wow. Yeah, Tolu says, I was so bad I couldn't close the door, or close the window. You know what? When I was at Xerox, the more seasoned salespeople, one of them called me up one day. He said, Eric, come up here, come here. He said, can you close that door? So I closed it. He said, okay, you can close something, right? So Tolu, I can relate, right? I was horrible, but you can learn, trust me. I am so excited about this class now more than ever because I can see that a lot of people need this, right? Absolutely free. I can't wait to share it with you. And don't make excuses for yourself. Oh, it's too late, or that's my dinner time, and like people make all kinds of excuses and don't become good at sales. Just show up. It's free. 1.5 hours at least of value, right? And then I'll answer some of your questions. All right, another question. Let's see. Here's one by Carlene. Carlene, can you share? Yes, and I think Carlene has been in one of my classes. Can you share an example of a follow-up that feels genuine and not pushy? Okay, so we have 5 minutes. If Leah or any, if you want to share real quick, because I have a good answer for this one.
Okay, I'm going to assume that this is
Leah.
during the, I would say I'm assuming that it's during that discovery call. Let's say, for example, I love this phrase. This is so gold. I should charge you right now. Let's go ahead and jump on the next call. Let's go ahead and get you enrolled. Let's go ahead and get you started. Let's go ahead and people just they just go right to the next step. So that's gold right there. Write that one down.
That's gold. Thank you. Let's go ahead and yes, you can let them know what's next step. Any real quick.
I think just a simple question. Start like with a friend. How's it going? How's your book going? That's what I tend to do, right? And I feel bad about following up by the way my friends. I don't like following up. I think it's I just think ugh. But you have to send a message. Otherwise, there's no conversation continuation, right?
Yes.
Just get in touch and ask a question. Let's talk. That's what Leah says.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So for follow up, I'm looking at this like you've spoken with the person and now you have to call them back. That's the way I look at it. And one of the best things to do to make follow up easy is to set up the follow up before you get off the call. Okay. So I'm talking to you. You say you have to think about it, right? I said, okay, well, no problem. When do you think you'd be ready? Or should I give you a week, or be specific? Should I give you a week to think about it? Like, yes, okay, great. So a week could be Monday. So should I contact you Monday morning or Monday afternoon? On Monday afternoon. Okay. Why don't we do this? Let's just set an appointment for Monday afternoon. Okay. What's best for you? 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock. Great. So I'm putting it down for 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. I'll send you a calendar link and we'll meet at that time. And then you can let me know if you're interested or not. You see what I did? I followed up, but I was specific, right? I'm in the driver's seat. The last thing you want to do is call somebody and say, hey, Annie, are you ready yet? I'm just following up. Are you ready yet? Because now you're desperate. You are desperate. So you want to set up the follow-up so you don't have to be desperate. All right. So I hope that helps, Carlene. All right. So now we have a lot of questions. I can't get to everything. So here's the deal. Come to the class. Come to the class. I'll answer all these questions. I put it in the chat one more time. successwitheric.com/masterclass. Real quick, Leah, how can people reach you? How can they get in touch with you, Leah?
Really, really simple. LinkedIn. You can also go to my Biz in a Box, which is like a website at leahgarcia.io. And there you can download my free new interactive Wall of Wealth and take my financial quiz and get your financial score.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. Annie, how can we reach you?
LinkedIn is my home, so I try to share my link. So connect with me. So I love to meet you. I love to hear about what you do and how you help.
Awesome. Some people are asking for the link. I put it in there. If you don't see it, then go to, again, successwitheric.com/masterclass. Okay. Call if you can put it in LinkedIn, because for some reason I think some people are not seeing it.
It's going to Facebook and it's going to YouTube. It's not on LinkedIn.
Okay. So yeah, call if you can do that. When I get off, I'll put it in LinkedIn because I can't do two things at one time. So yeah. So I'll put it in LinkedIn. But again, just type it in successwitheric.com/masterclass. And yeah, and then I'll see you all tomorrow. All right. So I always love to end on time. Some people have to go to school, some people have to go to work, some people have to take the kids to the babysitter. And so we're never late. Okay. So we appreciate all of you for being here. Great discussion. Keep learning, folks. Keep learning. And for many of you, I'll see you tomorrow at the masterclass. For the rest of you, I'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, Zion had to jump off. He probably had technical issues. You want to connect with Zion and Eguru? You'll see his name in the chat. He's Mr. Positivity. I've learned a lot from him about being positive in life, because life is an attitude, right? So you want to connect with Zion. All right. So it has been a pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege to be with you today. What's that?
I say it has been a pleasing pleasure.
Yes.
So it was a good way to start on Mondays, right?
Exactly. All right, folks. I don't want to be late. I will see you next week, or for some of you, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.